Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and we continue on with the little sales book called Let's Sell, which is 73 years old, I guess, when it was first published. And it's really interesting to see this. It's a lot of fun to read these things, and the principles do apply, even though it's not directly about, carpet cleaning, obviously. But nevertheless, I think it's food for thought and gives us something to think about. And if you got some thoughts as you're following along, write in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video and share it too. Go back to the beginning and start with chapter 1. And anyway, let's go on with chapter 6. It's called Show and Tell. Let's assume your attention getter is successful. This prospect is all eyes and ears. Now what do you do next? This is a critical point. In the next 10 seconds, you can make the sale or break it. This is where you begin to show him and tell him what the product will do for him. But you do this in a very special way. Don't talk about your product. Talk about the prospect. Talk about his satisfaction in using or owning the product. This is a fundamental principle of selling. It is absolutely essential that you understand it. That's a very good point. I like that. People never buy a product. They buy the satisfaction that using or owning the product will bring. Do you buy a steak because you want a piece of steer? You buy it because you want the joy of eating it, the aroma, and the tender, juicy flavor. So when you sell steak, what do you talk about? You talk about the buyer's enjoyment of the aroma, tenderness, and flavor. A good salesman never talks about his product. He always relates it to the buyer. He talks about the buyer's enjoyment and satisfaction. You'll hear him say things like, when you own, when you use, can you see yourself enjoying when your neighbors see you? He keeps you in the picture, enjoying yourself. To sell any product, you must figure out the ways that will satisfy the prospect. Then picture his satisfaction just as vividly as possible. Fortunately, the list of basic desires is fairly simple. It is easy to check your product against them. We all want food, sexual gratification, and we want to be loved by people, and liked by others. Most of us are interested in money. At least we are interested in what money can do for us. And we also hunger for praise, prestige, and advancement. Except for a few Spartans, most of us like a little ease, comfort, leisure, and entertainment. And last but not least, we are all concerned about good health, peace of mind, and security. These are the things the prospect wants. If your product can bring them to him, he is bound to be interested. But desire is only one side of the coin. The other side is fear, and there are two sides to every sales point. Whenever we really desire something, we fear or dislike the lack of it. We desire food, at the same time we fear hunger and starvation. We like money, and we dread the thought of poverty. In fact, every one of the basic desires we have just listed is accompanied by a fear or dislike of the opposite. There you go. You can read those. If your product will satisfy one of these desires, it will automatically relieve a fear of the opposite. Always appeal to fear as well as to desires. Among businessmen, fear of loss is a more powerful motive than the desire for a profit. A company may go along for years badly overstaffed, too many people and too much waste motion. If the company wanted to make more money, it could easily do without half of them. But is anybody fired? No. As long as the company keeps making a tidy profit, nobody seems to care. But wait until the profits start to drop. Things are cut to the bone. To keep from losing profits, the company will make cuts. It would never think of making to increase them. If you sell to a businessman, you can appeal to their desire to make a profit. But generally, you find it more effective to appeal to their fear of loss. That's funny. And with many other customers too, fear is even more powerful than desire. Don't overlook it. In building your sales presentation, take plenty of time to study these lists of basic desires and fears. Which of these desires can your product satisfy? What fears can you raise in the prospect's mind that your product will relieve? Some of them may not apply to your product, but don't give up too easily. The more basic motives you can tie to, even indirectly, the better your chance of making sales. Okay, that was chapter 6. So thank you for watching, and we'll go on to the next video